Hi everybody, it's been a long time. This is Rebbetzin Gutierrez, and in this class is titled The Introduction to Shema and the Essence of the Jewish Soul. The reason why I decided to create this class is because I thought it would be useful and extremely important to go back to basics. So this class can be for a person who is thinking of converting to Judaism. It can be a person who is going through the conversion process. It can be a person who is just interested in learning about Judaism. But also it can be for a person who's just looking to be closer to Hashem, to thinking of going back to basics, because there's a profound teaching in all of us when we bring to our consciousness as to what it is, inside our souls, especially the Jewish soul. And I consider that the Shema is one of the things that is ingrained in the Jewish soul. It's like the very essence, the very basic. It's kind of like the ABC for us, for the Jewish people. And so we're gonna go back to basics, and I thought it would be to understand. It's so important to think what is the Shema, right? The Shema is a prayer that we say every day when we wake up and when we go to sleep. It is, as I mentioned before, it is something that is ingrained in our souls and our minds. It's a prayer that is said by every Jew, regardless which part of the globe there may be. Even if in the same room there would be, imagine if you're in the synagogue and there's Jews from France, Jews from Israel, Jews from the United States, Jews from Mexico, Jews from every part of the globe. So imagine the moment when they all come together and as one, and they say the Shema. It's such an incredible moment. It's such a powerful moment. It's a statement and a profound statement of faith, of unity, and love for Hashem. So the Shema consists of 3 paragraphs of the Tanakh. Deuteronomy, which is Devarim, but in Hebrew, Devarim, is chapter 6 and verses 4 to 9, and chapter 11, 13, verses 13 to 21, and Numbers, which is Midbar in Hebrew, and is chapter 15 to 30, verses 37 to 41. So the first 2 paragraphs of the Shema are part of the book of Bejarano, Devarim. It is the last book of the Torah. It is where you will find the final speeches of Moshe Rabbeinu, and where it reminds our people, the Jewish people, what happened in the desert, such as when the Torah was given to us and when the people did the terrible sin of the golden calf. He also reviews through the laws in order for people to enter Israel. But most of all, he talks about the importance of emunah, of faith. So there are 2 sections, Deuteronomy, Devarim, which are chapter 6, verses 4 to 9, and then chapter 11, verses 13 to 21. These verses declare the oneness of Hashem and our commitment as His children to love Him and with actions, which are the study of Torah and to pass on knowledge to our generations. So these 2 sections also include the anointing of tefillin, and which is a mitzvah only for Jewish men, and also mentions put it on mezuzot, our doorpost of our homes. But Midbar is the 4th book of the Torah. So it describes events from 40 years of the wanderings of our people in the desert, beginning with the census of preparations in order to enter Israel. The book continues describing a series of complaints, sins, punishments, and how our people try to rebel. Commandments are dispersed throughout the book. And the book of Midbar ends by mentioning the places that our people traveled. It also describes Israel's boundaries. It's important to add the Numbers, but Midbar, chapter 15, verses 37 and 41, also speaks of the mitzvah of doning tzitzit and the exodus from Egypt, which are a mitzvah that is obligated, by, as I mentioned before, by Jewish man. So let's move on to the next part of our class. So now we're gonna next review the section of the Shema. So we grab our right hand and we cover our eyes and we say, Shema Israel, Adonai Elokeinu Adonai Echad, which means, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. And then we cover our mouths and we whisper, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Olam Va'ed. And I repeat more loudly, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Olam Va'ed. And that means, blessed be the name of the glory of his kingdom forever and ever. So when we recite the first verse of the Shema, as you just saw, we cover our eyes with our right hand. The physical reason as to why we do that is because we want to make sure there are no outside distractions. The deeper spiritual aspect of it is because while we're saying this verse, we're declaring to the world that Hashem is everything to us. So when we uncover our eyes, it takes removing our hand from our eyes. We open our eyes and our souls into a reality that, which is the very core of it, is the Kedusha, is godliness, is Hashem. So we acknowledge that there is a world beyond physicality, where the very essence of our souls come from. Again, Hashem. So we're going to begin with the second part of the text. Now, we're going to review this section of the Shema. And here it says, ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ומכל נפשך ומכל ידיך וחיוך מיכאלי. אשר נוקרים לצווך היום על לבבך לשנתן לבניך לדיברת במען משפטך וביתך ובתך בדרך ושובך וקומך ושמתם לראות עליך וחיות טובות בעיניך ושמתם המסותות בדרך משעריך. And so in English, it means, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you today shall be upon your heart. You shall teach them thoroughly to your children, when you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk on the road, when you lie down, when you arise. You shall bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for a reminder between your eyes, and you shall write them upon the doorposts of your house, upon your gates. So, now, I want you to truly acknowledge these words, really internalize them. What Hashem is trying to command us to do is to love Hashem with all our hearts, with all our souls, with all our might. When we say this, which what truly means for us is to love Him with all our whole being. So that includes our actions. And a mitzvah is supposed to be, it's supposed to become an action. So He wants for that mitzvah to be done with kavanah, with intention, and with an intention that comes from the deepest recesses of our souls. And we pass that on, that passion to serve Him. We're supposed to do that to our generations, to our children. And when He says that, teach it thoroughly to your children is telling us for our to be passed on in a very detailed fashion. So that we teach Torah to our children, and to show them what does that mean to feel that deep love of Hashem, and what it makes it so that our life is, so their lives and our lives, and show them how we see everything through the lens, through Hashem's lens. When we see with the lens of the Torah, everything changes. And we need to pass that on to our children. That's what we do from generations to generations. So when Hashem says to speak of His Torah when we sit in our home, when we walk along the road, when we lie down, when we arise, He truly commands us to teach and talk of His Torah in every waking moment that we've got. To keep it in our minds, that is so deeply inside our minds, that is just comes to us automatically. It's our tool, it's our spiritual tool kit for every single aspect of our lives. imagine like the intensity of that kind of relationship between us and Hashem. And it can only come from the study of Torah. And when he says, you shall bind them as a sign upon your hand, and it shall be for the reminder between your eyes, and you shall write them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. So lastly, when Hashem is commanding, obviously, the donning of the seeds in the tefillin, and to put on mezuzot on doorposts of our homes and our gates, as we were talking about before. But he's also, and then, well, as I mentioned before as well, the donning of seeds in the tefillin is only for, specifically a mitzvah, only for a Jewish man. And so, as I was mentioning right now, he was also giving us another message, which I think is very profound. Is to also, like as I mentioned before, to bring Torah to our present consciousness all the time, to bring up those sparks of holiness, even in the physical items, like a door. So I hope that you enjoy this small class. It's going to be a series, and I wanted to make it short, so that way everyone has the time to internalize what's being said and taught. So I hope that you enjoy it.